Welcome to Box Free with Stephanie. Today I want to show you how to make some basic foods with simple ingredients from scratch. And I hope you discover cooking box free is fast and delicious. So let's cook together. Today we're going to make shepherd's pie, which is like an English dish, but super easy. Whoopsie. So I'm actually officially making cook's pie, I guess, because I'm using ground burger instead of ground lamb. So the official shepherd's pie has lamb in it, and like, who has lamb? Certainly not me. So I just use burger, and then I guess that's called cook's pie. But whatever, I like to call it shepherd's pie because nobody knows, and we all kind of know what shepherd's pie is, but cook's pie, like, doesn't sound the same. So I am just browning 1 pound of hamburger. And back here I have my potatoes because I have to make some mashed potatoes. So they are already cooking. I didn't show you that I peeled them and then I diced them and then I'm boiling them. That's not that exciting. So I have about 4 potatoes that are kind of like a medium large size. And once I had them all diced up, it looked like it was way too many. So I'm going to just make them all into mashed potatoes. And then once I'm going to actually put it into my pan, I'll see if I want all those potatoes or not. And I'm thinking I will not. Because this is something that I rarely measure. I mean, I just like cook stuff up and then that's how much we get. So I do usually do 1 pound of burger just because that's what I have my burger in 1 pound packages. So that's what I do. But you wouldn't even have to do all that if you didn't want to. And then this is 1 onion that I'm going to chop up and throw in with my meat to get my onion nice and cooked up. And then I'm going to add some carrots and then some frozen veggies. So this is a kind of meal that it's kind of one of those, like, my onion is really slippery, so like I got to hang on a second and focus so I don't cut my finger off. No, it's just, you know how onion skins can be a little bit slippery sometimes, so that's what was going on. Okay, so I'm just going to let this cook, and then I'm also going to add 1 clove of garlic. I probably would have added 2, but my garlic wasn't looking so hot this morning, so I only have 1 that looked like worth it, you know, like I should use it. The others I did not use, so again, that's to your taste, kind of 2 to 3 cloves of garlic. Or 1, or none, whatever, or garlic powder, it doesn't really matter. But I think I was saying in the beginning, shepherd's pie is one of those like comfort foods in my opinion. It's kind of an easy thing to eat. It's not very spicy. You certainly don't have to make it spicy or flavorful. You can make it just really plain Jane and just simple food. Okay, that's my oven. I preheated my oven to 350 because once I have all my ingredients kind of cooked up, then I'm going to bake it, just make sure it's all heated through. Okay, so now I'm going to cut up my carrots because I have carrots. Sometimes when I am really in a hurry, I don't even do fresh carrots. I just do frozen vegetables. So this is one of those meals that I use when I haven't really thought much about what I'm going to make, or I don't feel like spending that much time cooking, or something just really easy, or something that just is really simple. Shepherd's pie to me is like just a really fast, you kind of, it seems to have the ingredients because you can just manipulate them into what you need anyway or what you have. So it's one of those go-to meals, I guess that's the word I'm looking for. One of my go-to meals when I don't really know what I feel like making, and I usually have potatoes and burger, that's for the dog, and frozen vegetables. But like today I have raw carrots, and I have time to cook them, so I'm going to add them in there. But you wouldn't have to. You could do all frozen vegetables. And I've done the frozen mixed vegetables, and like today I'm adding separate vegetables, so whatever. The official shepherd's pie, I think, just has carrots and onions and garlic. But like every recipe, you can change it to whatever your family likes and whatever you have time for and feel like eating that day. So now while this is kind of cooking up here, I'm going to check my potatoes, because as soon as they're ready, I'm going to mash them. So let me check. They're just cooking away back here. And you know, you want mashed potatoes, you want the potatoes to be very soft when you stab them with a big knife or a little knife. If you have a little knife, you could use a little knife. So you just test them like that, and that was not soft enough. So I had some resistance, so they're not quite ready yet. Okay, so then I'm gonna put everything in here. So I do shepherd's pie. I've seen it different ways where you can put like all your veggies in here, and then you just put the potatoes on top. But because I usually do frozen vegetables, I end up doing my vegetables and then my meat and then my potatoes. So today I think I'm gonna, oh, I know what I usually do. I usually cook my vegetables because I'm thinking like, I don't put frozen vegetables in here. That's just like, that's gonna just take way too long in the oven to heat up. So normally what I do is cook them on the stove. So let's just do that. Whoopsie, this is a really big pan, but that's okay. So what I'm gonna do is just make my vegetables hot, because again, if I put frozen corn and frozen peas and frozen mixed vegetables on the bottom of this and then put my meat and then my potatoes, it would take like forever in the oven, and then my potatoes would maybe get too done on the top, and I don't want that to happen. So this is some corn that I got from like corn on the cob that I cut off or whatever. So it doesn't necessarily taste super good as a side dish, so I'm going to put it in here because it's like a hot dish thing and you won't really taste it the same way as like a side of corn. So that's a good way to use up that kind of stuff. And I don't know, I'm just going to dump the whole thing in, I guess. Again, this is something you don't really have to measure. You can just guesstimate how much food you need. So I'm going to say that was like a good cup. And then I don't want to go too crazy on the peas. So we'll say that was like a good half a cup. I don't know. My carrots, that was probably half a cup. If you were doing like the bag of mixed vegetables, then I would probably do like 2 cups, because you do want this pan to be, you know, a nice layer of vegetables on the bottom. But again, just whatever you have, you just make it work. So I'm going to check this, and then I'm going to check my potatoes again. And then we're going to mash our potatoes. Oh, and then I got to add my seasoning. Okay, so the thing about the meat, I guess I don't remember how they do it in official shepherd's pie from England, but you can flavor this however you want. Like, I think you could leave it just plain, just the total plain meat, and then your potatoes on top. Sometimes I do like just ketchup if I want kind of a ketchup-y taste. But then usually I do barbecue sauce because we like that taste in our house. Today I don't actually have any barbecue sauce, so I'm gonna just make it in my pan. I mean, I'm not gonna really like make barbecue sauce, but I'm gonna put all the ingredients in and then just taste it and stop when I think it tastes good. So this is something you could do, like just a tomato paste. Yeah, that's what I saw, tomato paste with some Worcestershire and I don't even know what else, whatever. I'm going to add a little bit of molasses, but I don't want to quite add that yet. I want this to cook just a little bit more. I can see some pink in my burger yet, so I'm going to wait a little bit, and then I'm going to jazz it up with my stuff. And I'm going to check my potatoes again, because maybe they're ready to be mashed. And normally I don't carry around such a huge knife, but I don't know, my paring knife is somewhere else, so whatever. I'm not going to drop it. I'll be careful. So let's see. Oopsie. Okay, so now they're like falling apart. Okay, so those are pretty much ready. So let me get ready to mash, because I'm going to mash them by hand. And I didn't get all my stuff out. So when I do mashed potatoes, I do milk and sometimes sour cream, but I think today I'll skip the sour cream. I don't know why. Maybe I will, but I need some milk. Butter, salt. Okay, I don't need this yet. All right, so now this is cooking really nicely. Oh, my nose is itchy. And I am going to drain this if it looks like I need to, but this burger I've been getting, sometimes it doesn't even have a whole lot of liquid. But I'm seeing a little bit, so in just a couple minutes I'm going to drain that also. But right now I'm gonna mash my potatoes. So I'm gonna pour out most of my water. Oh, I forgot I was doing my vegetables here too. Good thing they're just frozen, they just have to boil, no big deal. All right, so I'm gonna take this and dump out most of my water. Hang on, I need my big, I use this for everything. This is now becoming my lid or whatever. I'm gonna just keep my potatoes in here. Okay, so however you want to mash your potatoes, just mash them. People do it different ways, and that's fine. I add a tablespoon or two of butter, whatever seems handy, a good teaspoon of salt, and then I add whatever, a quarter cup of milk maybe. I don't really know. We'll just see how it's looking here in a minute, and then we'll add more milk if we need it. Actually, this isn't even looking like too many potatoes now. Wow. See, I just never know. I don't know. I mean, I have made shepherd's pie a lot because it is such an easy thing and we like it. And I never measure, so you'd think I would kind of know how many I want for a serving of 4, but I don't. That's okay. All right, so this is looking pretty good. I don't need any more milk. So now, in your shepherd's pie, you could add grated cheddar cheese right now. You could add cream cheese, sour cream, however you want to flavor your potatoes is totally up to you. For some reason, I have never added cheddar to this, which I should try sometime because the barbecue and the cheddar would probably be really good together. But whatever, I just don't. So now I'm going to just set this over here, and I'll just wait until I'm ready to put it on top. I should get a lid maybe. That's okay. It won't be that long. Okay, so this is pretty much cooked. So now I'm going to get some of my liquid stuff off of there. And my veggies back here are boiling away. So I'm just going to turn that off and let that sit for a second. And I'm going to drain this. So hang on while I do this. Okay, now I do want to actually drain this because I don't want my vegetables to be very watery. So I'm going to drain these. Okay, and then because I kind of like butter, I'm going to add like maybe half a tablespoon of butter and a little bit of salt so that my veggies taste good when they're in the bottom of my hot dish. So this is just, you know, a decent mixture. If you like another vegetable, you could add it in there. I don't think like cauliflower or broccoli would be too good though. You really just need kind of the basic carrot, corn, peas, but you could do green beans for sure green beans. And canned vegetables if you needed canned or had canned. I'm just going to stick that right there. Okay, so now I'm going to doctor up my meat. And this does kind of look like a lot of meat, but that's okay, whatever. All right, so I have my barbecue recipe, my barbecue sauce recipe. I'm going to kind of follow it so I know, I don't know, like my proportions. But I know I need a lot of ketchup as my base because I want a real saucy, I mean, I don't want soup, but I want sauce on my meat. So I think I need even a little bit more. So we're going to start with that. So I don't know, how much should I add? Maybe a cup. We're going to add maybe like a teaspoon or so of, maybe that's like 1 or 2 teaspoons. Worcestershire, we're going to add a good amount, like a tablespoon or so, because I really like that flavor. We're going to add some brown sugar, because that's what my barbecue sauce calls for. And we're going to just dump in, hopefully not too much, like that. Like maybe a tablespoon. I don't want it too sweet today. Oh, and then my molasses. Okay, so I was just using my molasses, so I had like the little bit left on the bottom, which is really hard to get out. So I added some hot water. So this is really liquidy, but I'm going to just add it because I can have a little bit of soupiness to this without it having, without it becoming like crazy soup. So I'm going to stir all this together and then we'll taste it and see what I need to add. Because normally my barbecue sauce has vinegar. It has vinegar in it. And I don't know, I just don't want to add vinegar. I don't want it to be too tangy. I want it to be just a sweeter barbecue sauce, and this is looking really nice. So I like to have like that, like kind of a, where everything is covered in the sauce, but it's not like soupy and it's not saucy enough. How's that for real technical cooking terms here on the old Box Free show? We're gonna just call that good and take a bite of it. Let's see. Okay, so this again is totally what you want it to taste like. Wow. I should never measure like that. That's really pretty good. I think I'm gonna do a little more Worcestershire because I really like that. And boy, I don't know if I should doctor it up much. It was pretty good. A little more ketchup and maybe a little more salt, but I already salted my potatoes and I forgot to taste those. I guess I could taste those really quick and see if they're not too salty. Yeah, they're not salty at all. All right, so I'm gonna just add a little salt to these. Okay, then we're almost ready to assemble. So then we're just gonna bake it to basically heat it up, get everything heated through. All right, so we're ready. So I don't know, I think this is a really easy thing to make. I guess I have been standing here a while, but it's all like homemade food and it's really good and it's just comfort food. So I'm gonna do vegetables first. And I did add my little bit of butter. And I can use all these mixing forks because they're all gonna be, or spoons, they're gonna be all mixed together anyway. So I'm gonna dump that in. So again, if you were using the bag of vegetables, your carrots would also be in there. And if you had frozen carrots or whatever. So I'm just gonna spread these out. So then I just do little layers. I mean, it's not that many, but whatever. So, little layers, and then I'm gonna do my meat. And then I do the potatoes on top. Oh, I know this is a bigger pan than I usually use sometimes. I do different pans and different things each time, so whatever, you can just make it whatever size you want. So this will be a little bit more flat out, spread out, and that's okay because I have plenty of potatoes. So you just spread it out so kind of that all your vegetables are covered. And it smells really good. It smells like a really nice yummy barbecue. Okay, and then my potatoes. And this, I am gonna kind of go a little bit slow because I don't know if I'm really gonna use all these potatoes. And you could also put cheese on top, which again, I never do. I don't know, we love cheese too. I should do that, but I just don't, I guess. Because in my opinion, shepherd's pie is like just a super basic, like easy food without fancy stuff. Not that cheese is like crazy fancy, but whatever. I just make it that way. Okay, there's hardly any left here, so we're just gonna add it all because I don't wanna save just that much. If I had maybe a little bit more, I would save it, and then I would make like eggs with mashed potatoes or a little quiche with my mashed potato crust, but we're just gonna call it all done and good in here. Okay, so I just do it like that. You just spread it out like that, and then if you wanted cheese on top or pepper, whatever you wanted, but I keep it really easy. So now I'm gonna throw this in my oven. We're gonna let that bake at 350 for like 15 or 20 minutes. You want it to be all heated through, and they have been kind of sitting out, so they're a little bit cooled off. So we'll be back in like 15 or 20 minutes. I'm gonna set my timer for 15, so I'll be back. Okay, we are back. It's been about 18 minutes or so, and I'm calling mine ready because I'm getting hungry and it's all bubbly and looking good. So I'm gonna turn my oven off and I'm gonna pull it out and show you what it looks like. So you can see how it's bubbling along the edges. And that's good. Now imagine if you had cheese on here, it would be all melty. What else was I going to say? Oh, if you left it in longer, then this would get much browner. But I don't mind it white, I guess. I don't know. I guess shepherd's pie is just a super basic American food to me, so I don't need anything fancy-pantsy with it. So we're going to dig into it and see how it looks. So I got a nice layer of potato, got a nice layer of meat, and then dish it up. And then I get a little bit of liquidy stuff in the bottom, of course, because I didn't drain my meat like 100%. So maybe I can spin it so you guys can see what the inside kind of looks like. Okay, so we are going to taste it. So I just think it's like a super easy hot dish. It's kind of like a hot dish and layered hot dish, you could say. We love our hot dishes up here, so I do. Good winter food. You wouldn't want to make this in the summer. I don't know, if you had AC, maybe it'd be fine. Okay, this is really, really hot. So it smells really good though. Again, we like that barbecue taste. If you like ketchup or just a plain meat and onion taste, then just doctor it up however you want to. Can't wait. Yum. Boy, I definitely lucked out in the old not measuring my barbecue stuff today, because this is just really good. Yum-y. It's so good to me. I don't know. It's just really simple and easy. Okay, so that's it. Thank you very much for watching Box Review with Stephanie. I hope you like the show. I really hope you make shepherd's pie, or cook's pie, I guess to call it the official name, because it is really nice and simple and easy and a good comfort food for northern Minnesota. So thanks for your time. I really do appreciate it. I hope you like the show. I hope your family loves your shepherd pie, and I will talk to you guys next time. Thanks. Bye.